Hi everyone, welcome to Inspire Me Gardening. Thank you so much for all my wonderful subscribers, and if this is your first time you are landing on this channel, thank you so much. Just don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And this is Beginner Gardening Series episode 3. So far this episode 1, which we talked about finding a reason, like why do you want to garden, and then episode 2 we talk about finding the perfect location to start your garden in your backyard. And then this episode, we are going to choose vegetables that are going to just be perfect for your garden. All right, so let's say you decided to do your garden. You want to do gardening. You want to start gardening this this coming season, which is fall. And you are ready. You've found your location where you want to start gardening. You've identified the size of the garden that you want, and you know for sure you are ready. You are ready. So welcome to episode 3, where we will talk about like what type of vegetables you are going to choose so that you can garden, because this is your first time and maybe you just don't know what type of vegetables you want to plant. Okay, so one thing you do want to make sure is, like, when you go look for these type of vegetables, is just don't get overly excited and buy like a whole lot that you're going to plant. Just start out slow. Okay, just start out slowly and you will love it. You will love it. So, grow what you eat. Rule number one we're going to talk about is grow what you eat. Okay. Why I say that is because, we easily forget or get overly excited when you go shop. When you go to the garden centers, trust me, if you love gardening, and those who love gardening know exactly what I'm talking about, you kind of get so excited. You want to like plant all these vegetables, and then the thing is, are you really going to eat them? Are you really going to enjoy them? So you also want to consider, like, do you buy tomatoes every week? For example, I use tomatoes every single day when I cook. So that tomatoes is like, I love tomatoes and I love planting them. So I definitely know I'm going to use those tomatoes when I plant them. Okay. And also another example too is peppers. Like, do you use peppers? Do you like peppers? Do you eat them? Vegetables, do you like collard greens? Do you eat collard greens? How often do you eat collard greens? Okay, those are like questions you should ask yourself, so that when you're going to these garden centers, like, you're not wasting money. You're not buying things or vegetables that you are going to plant and kind of be a waste. That's what I'm trying to say. So to be smart about it is we are going to start small. So in your family, just look at what you use a lot: tomatoes, peppers, carrots, cucumbers, zucchini, lettuce. I mean, what do you consume most of? So, like I said, oh, that was a lizard. If you see me like look around, just I'm very like, I listen. So I heard something crawling, but it's gardening lizards. They're gonna be your friends. So rule number 2 is you're gonna start small. Okay, please start small. Don't start too big, just start small. So for your first time, because it's your first time gardening, I definitely recommend for you to choose like maybe 3 to 5 crops that you know for sure that you want to plant this coming season. So remember, what we talked about is, your location, the water closest to where you're gonna water your garden, like the hookup, like where you're gonna connect your hose and all that stuff, closer Remember that? And then now we're trying to decide what type of vegetables are we going to plant? Like, which ones are we really going to do? And also, when you're looking for them, you also want to consider like how long is it going to take for them to grow? That's something that you definitely want to understand, is how long is it going to take? What kind of support does it need? How much water does it need? And also, you know, what does the plant look like when it's healthy? Okay. And what type of pests are you going to have or deal with once that time comes? So once you understand those basic things, expanding your garden it's just going to be much easier. So that's why it's important to just start small so that you kind of learn as you grow. Like for me, that's exactly what happened. I started out small and I just grew. I'm telling y'all, my garden was expanding. Every year I was like dividing my backyard. So we're going to talk about these like 10 easy crops for beginners. If you are a beginner, we're going to talk about these choices and why you should choose these, which is going to make your gardening experience a little bit easier. So number one, we have tomatoes. Okay, so let's talk about these tomatoes. Tomatoes are very popular. They're great. They're very tasty. They're very delicious. But let me just have a little reminder for you guys. Tomatoes are great, but they have this thing called tomato worms. Okay, I'm giving you guys a warning so that when you plant your tomatoes and you find a tomato worm, you don't freak out. So tomatoes have this popular worm that's called the tomato worm that will show up in your tomatoes. So that one, you have to be ready to tackle them. Okay. When I first started gardening, when I first saw the tomato worm, I ran back to the house because I was like, oh no, I'm not dealing with this. I don't want to plant tomatoes anymore. I'm telling you guys, like when I first planted tomatoes, that was it. I didn't want to plant them again. But I discovered this really nice tip that I'm going to give you guys is you want to grab some marigold flowers to plant along with your tomatoes. The marigold flowers to plant along with your tomatoes. You will remember me. They help a lot because I tried that this year and I didn't see any tomato worm in my tomatoes. So you will thank me for this. And for those who have planted tomatoes before, know exactly what I'm talking about. Tomato worms, they're called horn worms or tomato worms, one of those. But they're ugly looking things. So yes, so tomatoes need plenty of sunlight. You have to water them consistently. You need a fertile soil. You also need tomato cage to help the tomatoes stand. When I say tomato cage, let me see if I can grab one from my garden here. So what I'm talking about is, it's okay. I have to grab one of these, which is okay because this one is from my previous tomatoes. So this is a tomato cage. When I say tomato cage, this is what I mean. And you're gonna stick it down and you're going to protect your tomatoes, pretty much help your tomatoes stand in a certain position so that your tomatoes don't fall over or something. So we will talk about tomatoes in more details in another video. Then we have cucumbers. So cucumbers is another great plant, vegetables to plant. I've planted cucumbers before. If you've been following my channel, I do have a video of my cucumbers that I've planted, even the largest cucumber that I planted. Oh, I was amazed. My kids were amazed and we loved it. They taste so good. They taste so good. And the thing I've liked about the cucumbers is they grow really fast. Cucumbers really grow really fast. So cucumbers is definitely a go-to. And another option that you can do is you can grow beans. Obviously, y'all saw the beans that I have here. So you can grow beans if you want. The only thing is, you know, this is like what happens when you grow beans. They become a little bit more bushy and stuff. So you can grow those, or you can grow these other beans. They're called pole beans. So like, they don't grow as bushy as the ones I have, but they're like a little bit skinnier, and you can put a trellis on them so that they can, you know, hold up pretty well. Another thing that you can grow is lettuce. But let me tell you, don't start growing lettuce early fall because the temperatures are a bit too high right now. So you might want to start lettuce just a little bit later when the weather is a little bit much cooler, because lettuce does not tolerate well in heat. Another one that you might plant is radishes. I actually haven't planted radish before. Maybe that's something that I'm gonna do this fall, is plant radish. So you can actually plant radishes. Those ones are really, really good to plant because they grow very quickly. So I'm thinking I might plant that too. And then we have peppers. Oh my goodness, the peppers have like a whole family. There's like bell peppers, there's jalapeno peppers, there's banana peppers. Oh my goodness, we can go on and on and on about peppers. The good thing with peppers is they're low maintenance. Low maintenance. Like, all you got to do is just water them. Just water them, and they're amazing. I love my favorite one is the sweet pepper. It's called sweet pepper, and I like it because you can just get it and just eat it. Like, when you're out in your garden and you just need a little snack, you can just grab a sweet pepper and just eat it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Another one you can do is zucchini or summer squash. So zucchini. Zucchini is gonna be interesting to grow because zucchini, or these squashes, because they spread everywhere. Like, you know, they just go everywhere. So you have to also kind of be careful with that. You don't need a whole lot. Maybe try one. Buy a one zucchini plant and just give it a try. And then after that, then you can decide whether or not you want to plant more of that. Because one can produce a whole lot of like squash and zucchini. Then we have leafy greens. These greens, we have kale, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens. My two favorites, kales and collard greens. Never go wrong with that. Kales and collard greens. And I love planting these around the fall, winter, and early spring because they grow so well during the season. But when it comes to summer, oh my God, it's a struggle to grow them in the summer because of these worms that we have to deal with. You know, I try so much to grow my garden organically, so I don't like spraying anything in my garden. So we go by the seasons. Then we have herbs. So you can plant the herbs. Herbs are really great, really great. Like I have basil. So basil is really nice because I feel like it helps kind of control the pests in the garden. So that's another good one. Cilantro is a good one. They grow really good. Cilantro grows really good during like cooler weather season. It does not like the heat. It will not grow in the summer. So don't try to grow cilantro in the summer because it will not grow. But it does well like when cooler weather come along. Yes, yes. So you can plant that. I have rosemary and I have peppermint in a container. So I like those type of herbs in a container. For some reason, like for me, they're just easier to maintain in a container rather than in the ground. Or you can do a raised bed and, plant them. But let me warn you, the peppermint, if you do not control it, it will take over your garden. So I've warned you. But the peppermint is so delicious. I use it on my tea, you know, peppermint tea, chai peppermint tea. Yes. Make it homemade. Let's see. There's rosemary, there's thyme. What else? There's oregano. There is what else? What was that? There was another herb that I had planted here and it was so nice. It was like Chinese something and it was really good. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look it up. But there was a herb that I planted that did so well that we were using it in like rice and it was making the rice taste so good. Yeah, these herbs are really, really nice. They're natural and really delicious to flavor up your garden. And onions too. You can plant some onions too and garlic. But, these other vegetables that I've listed, those are really, really good. But just remember the mint, put it in a container. You will thank me later. Do not plant your mint with other vegetables because it will take over. Also, my final recommendation is not really one particular plant, but you can try other plants. Like you can try watermelon, you can try eggplant, you can try sugarcane. So like, you see I have sugar canes and I have some traditional vegetables. So why you see it's like my garden is kind of green. A lot of this is traditional vegetable here. This one right here, guys, this is, oh, let me show y'all. This is junta leaf here. This is a traditional vegetable and I like eating this. It's very delicious. So I have it in my garden. It only thrives around this season. Once fall comes and the weather changes, it's not going to be there anymore. So I am going to harvest and freeze this so I can enjoy it in winter when I can't have it anymore. Gardening becomes more personal when you start growing things that you love eating, and that makes you like enjoy gardening a little more. So plant what you like. Like, what do you want to enjoy eating? One season I planted potatoes and that's because I wanted to really see the process of the potatoes. And yes, the potatoes grew and they did well, but did I plant potatoes again? No, I did not, because it's just, for me, potatoes wasn't a thing. I don't eat potatoes like that. So, but I did want to plant and see how the potatoes are doing. Now, before you run out and go to these garden centers and start buying what you're going to plant, be on the lookout for the weather. Okay, like I told you guys, you can look up the zone that you're in. Just go to Google and type in your zip code and say, is this the right season for me to plant this? Or you can say, what type of vegetables should I plant in zip code, whatever zip code you have, and it will tell you. Or you can say, what zone am I in, zip code, whatever, and it'll tell you. It'll definitely tell you like what type of vegetables. So another thing is, in the garden centers, you will start noticing that they bring the specific type of vegetable when the season is coming. So when fall is coming, they're going to start putting out the peppers. They're going to start putting out tomatoes. They're going to start putting out all of those things that you can go buy so you can plant. Like I said, lettuce, spinach, peas, and many other leafy vegetables, they often prefer cooler temperatures. And so that is why I'm like, okay, it's very important to understand the type of season you're in and what you can plant. So we're going to talk much more about this in the next episode. So just don't forget about your space, because watermelon is a vine and it will travel, guys. So I definitely don't recommend planting watermelon if it is your first time gardening, because it can be a headache. And then also, if you're gardening on the balcony or patio, like, you're not missing out. Don't feel like you're gonna miss out on gardening because you don't have a backyard. Absolutely not. If you've been following my channel, you see that I plant things in containers, and I do that to show you guys that it is possible. It is possible. You can plant things in containers. Like this gardening season, this coming fall, I'm gonna plant some vegetables in a container so that I can show you guys that really you can plant anything in a container and it will grow. I planted a avocado seed in a container and it's growing and it's still there and it's doing well. So those who don't have a backyard, no excuses, you can do it too. Now, let's see. The next homework is I want you guys to write down. I want you to write 5 vegetables or herbs that you regularly eat. Okay. Then I want you to circle the 3 to 5 crops you would most likely grow first. Okay. And next to each of them, I want you to write why. Why do you want to grow this type of vegetables? Maybe you want to grow tomatoes for salads, or maybe your kids love cucumbers, or maybe you eat a lot of peppers, or maybe you cook with your herbs. Just, pick them and circle 3 to 5, and right next to them write why you want to plant those vegetables. And so we are going to go on this journey together. So that's why I'm getting this series out now, so that you can get your garden ready. And also, what are the top 3 things you want to grow in your garden? So I want you to write in the comment section, what are the top 3 things you want to grow in your garden? I'm really, really curious to see what everyone is going to choose. And so, your answers really do help me come up with like ideas and things to talk about, like, in my channel. So thank you guys. And, now that you've chosen your garden, you've written down what you want to plant. When should you plant? That is what we are going to talk about in the next upcoming episode. We're going to talk about the growing zones. We're going to talk about frost dates, and we're going to talk about planting season. And I'm going to kind of show you guys, figure out, like, how you're going to start planting them, like once you buy the plant from the garden center, how are you going to transplant it into your garden? So we got a whole lot that we're going to talk about. Thank you guys. If you've really enjoyed watching this episode, give it a thumbs up, give it that like button, comment below in the section below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So thank you guys. I really do enjoy doing this. I love gardening. Gardening is with me and it's my passion. And so happy gardening, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank y'all.